Good morning, Ernesto. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Alex. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you very much. Just about to
Great.
start.
No problem. Thank you for the invite.
Thank you too. Hey, Richard, how are you?
I'm good. Sorry, I had another Zoom right up until then. I would have
No
got
worries.
on early.
We're perfect on time. If you agree, we can wait a couple of more minutes to allow anyone else to join us, but we'll be starting shortly.
You will be recording the seminar, the
Yes,
presentation?
yes, Ernesto. We'll be
Okay,
recording
great.
it and we'll be sending the link afterwards, so anyone can make reference to the video.
Okay, great. Yeah, because my brother asked for a copy of the taping, so that's great. Thanks.
Sure, no problem. We can also include the presentation, so at the end we'll give everyone our contact information for this. So Richard, how have been the events so far with your group in Alignable?
Well, some of them have had a fairly large attendance. Some haven't. It all depends on how well the link is promoted. It's just like everything else. I will tell you that people these days, I hate to say it, they're getting lazy, and some of them will register for different events, but then not even show up. So I'm glad to see there's a number of people on here today.
Excellent, excellent. I think Tamika is also from the alignment group.
Hello, yes, I'm on Alignable.
Excellent. Thank you for joining us. Well, if you want, let's start. We'll allow anyone else to join us during the event. So maybe to start, well, just a quick introduction. My name is Alex Valencia. I am based in Miami, Florida, and we represent several companies, mainly from Latin America, that are starting or promoting their products or services into the US. So among these companies, we're sharing today the company Sequoia, which is in charge of Worqer. Worqer is the product that they developed in Latin America. But the reach of this tool is perfect for any small and medium company, also in the US. We have had a lot of cases where we have been successfully implemented this tool in companies in Ecuador, in Mexico, in Brazil. We're now starting also with a company in Panama, a big retail company in Panama. Puerto Rico is also developing a tool, an implementation of this tool, as well as an accounting company in California. So hopefully we'll be starting soon with more cases, success cases here in Florida. And well, for starters, what does RPA mean? What is a robot process automation tool? It's an option that allows companies to complete any task faster than what a person will normally do. It's mostly designed to cover any repetitive tasks in any desktop, in any system. It allows you to optimize the human intervention, allowing the human to take over the tasks that add value, that allow you to reach the goals on the company, and leave the tasks that do not add value, that are repetitive, that do not require analysis, to be taken over by the software, by this tool. Another interesting option for this tool is that it allows the company to interact between different systems that were not designed to be connected. It's very common to have an accounting software that is custom made for the company, or that is an industrial product that does not allow you to have any modifications. But you also have the software for your core business, where you input data for the clients, where you make the transactions, And those two systems were not designed to interact with each other. So this software allows you to do so. And the good thing about this tool in particular is that it performs on a superficial level, which means that you don't need to make additional hardware or software modifications to your current system in order for this tool to work. You don't need to open databases. You don't need to install new servers. This tool allows you to be installed as any other application on your desktop computer. So before we begin, let me show you a quick video of what you can expect for this tool to work on any system. In this example, we have an Excel file with the data for new customers that have been agreed to have a new contract with us. And maybe the sales team did all his work during the week, and at the end of the week, he sends the support staff or the operation staff an Excel file with all the customers, with all the new contracts that they need to input in the system. But since this company does not have an interaction with this process, usually a person will have two separate screens or two separate applications open on the screen, and will be navigating from one file to the system, selecting a cell, copying that information, moving to the ERP system, for instance, or the CRM system, selecting the field where he needs to input that information and paste that information. So he'll be constantly going back and forward from one app to the other, and copy information, paste information, and do it all the time. So imagine the frustration of that person when they receive this file, and the only thing that they need to do is input that information. So this data entry process can be quickly taken over by the robot. So in this video, in this example, we're going to show you how the software has already been taught how to handle that information. The first time that he's going to input the information, we're going to do it in a reduced speed so that you can see the robot working. And the next examples are going to be in the normal speed that the robot can work. So now we're launching the robot. You're going to see a screen at the top. And now the robot is taking over the computer. This is the same computer that the user is using regularly. Please note that it's not only filling the information, but it's also configured to select whenever there is a field that needs selection of items. He can also do that. So he's not only just copying and pasting information, he's also choosing which is the option in some particular fields. And please note the speed that the robot can work. He can work as fast as the system that he's working with can do. So there's no way that a person can match this speed, but also there's no way that any person can do it without any errors, without missing any field, without missing any line. So this is what we're looking for, to be able to offer to our company or to our customers in order for them to improve their processes. A little more information about the industry. Deloitte has done research on how the RPA industry is taking over the different companies. So there's 53% of executives interviewed by Deloitte have started the experience with RPAs, meaning that they have already started implementing this information in their companies, and the estimate is that this will rise up to 72%. So the first thing that we need to understand here is that whether or not you decide to consider this for your company or for your customers, it's very likely that your competitors are already doing this. So this kind of investment is allowing them to work faster than you, to work more efficiently than you. So it's definitely something that you need to look into. The other results from this inquiry made by Deloitte is that among the companies that implemented an RPA software, 92% showed a compliance improvement, meaning that the robot allowed them to fulfill all the compliance requirements for that company, meaning that they do not overlook any rule, any regulation. They just follow all the procedures, unlikely any case where a human can disregard the regulation or disregard the order in where he inputs the information based on his criteria or his best understanding of the situation. In those cases, well, it's arguable if he's not allowed or not to do so. But the robot will not go to this consideration. He just will follow the procedures. So the compliance improvement is very important. Also, 90% of the companies stated that the quality and the precision of the data entry or the fulfillment of the processes that were handled by the robot improved in quality. So there were no errors, there were no things that had to be done twice in order to correct something. So that's very important also. Productivity has improved in 86% of the companies, and cost has been reduced in 59% of the companies. So this gives you a very good look and feel of how RPAs are improving the reality of companies. So when to use an RPA? Whenever you need to handle data entry, whenever you require to complete tasks that do not require analysis, that are only meant for you to copy paste data or and input data, tasks that are repetitive, that can be done over and over. Whenever there's a need to combine this robot to have two different software technologies work together. Whenever there's a new implementation of a software in the company that does not communicate to the previous systems, we can teach the robot how to communicate, and he will be executing those tasks. If you need to transform information, let's say that you receive from your customer a packaging list, bill of lading, with information in the format that the vendor is issuing the information, or in the format that the service provider is sending you the information. So instead of doing a manual process where you transform that information and then input that information into your system, the robot can handle directly that information. He can learn how to read the information given by your vendor, by your shipping company, logistics company, and inputting that directly into your system. So the limits that the RPA has are as big as the requirements that the company will have. So just to summarize the information, Worqer does not require to install any components to modify what you already have on your company. So it's non-invasive, meaning that your IT department will never have an issue when looking this kind of project. Usually, the IT department is very careful on choosing new tools or new softwares because they don't want them to mess with what they already have in place in terms of stability, system reliability, or how the system works now. So whenever you present them with another option for software, they will always try to be careful on how to implement this. In this case, Worqer does not need any modification. It's not invasive, meaning that it will be installed like any other application. And most importantly, will not modify any security requirements from that company. So it's important to know that there will not be any issue in installing the program regarding the securities or tools for security that are already in place. The software will adjust to those conditions without having the need for those conditions to be changed. It's transportable, meaning that it will work on different computers from the same user, the same office. The only thing is that the robot will not be able to perform at the same time in different computers, as obviously, but it can be used in several computers, which is also a very important thing for companies that are working remotely, that have several users or several offices performing the same task. So that's something important to consider also. Worqer is adaptable to the specific needs of your company. Whenever you look for this kind of tools on the market, the industry usually allows you to test or to use a software that needs you to adapt to them. We think differently, and we made Worqer be the one that adapts to your reality. So we teach Worqer how to work for you instead of teaching you how to handle another tool or another software. And this is actually what makes sense in the current reality of companies when they already have their work in place, they already know how to use the current tools, and they don't need to have another tool to be understood or to adapt to this tool. So basically, what we look into is allow you to double click on a link, and then the robot will take over. So that's how adaptable we want this tool to be for you. Trainable, meaning that we will teach the software how to work depending on the specific need that you will have for this. So many times, whenever you finally install a software tool and some time goes by, and there's a change on any other component, the origin of the information, the software that receives the information, the whole system can change. So we can train and teach the robot how to work in that new scenario. And just a quick note here, whenever your company or your customer starts working with us, the contract allows them also to have support hours included in the fee, in the monthly fee. And those support hours allow you to make these changes. So usually there won't be any issue whenever your company is updating any software or changing any system. The robot can follow those changes and allow you to work with that too. And mostly it's friendly. It's made for be understood in any Windows desktop environment. So there's no hard to learn technology for you to implement or to consider. The service team, the support team is going to be working side by side with the user in order for them to quickly understand how we work, but mostly to adjust and adapt to how the worker to the user is doing the task currently. So it allows you to work in all types of interfaces, meaning that any software that runs on a Windows desktop computer is a target for us to work with. It can handle the work the same way a human will handle that same situation, meaning that the software is going to be able to take over the keyboard, take over the mouse, and do all the actions that a human needs to do in order for the task to be completed. It will allow you to identify what task has been completed and give you reports, give you error reports. So whenever there are 100 items to input in the system, at the end of the process, the robot will allow you to receive a report, whether a pop-up menu, whether an email, a notification to your phone, telling you, I received 100 tasks to complete. I was able to complete 98 of those, and two issued an error based off whatever control setup you give the robot to follow. In that way, you will only have to supervise the robot for those two tasks that he was not able to complete, and consider all the other 98 tasks fulfilled and move on to the rest of the process. So the robot can also receive orders via email. For instance, you're aware of the office and you're not physically there, but the robot is already monitoring an inbox that has been configured for him. So whenever you issue an email telling start the process or generate report, he can receive that order and start working at that time. So there's no need for you to be physically there in the office or to manually launch the robot. You can program this, or you can also send orders via email, for instance. You can also receive the notifications by email whenever the robot needs to issue any message, or whenever he fulfills the task, he can send the report by email so that you can work it at home or in a remote location. He can manage different repositories of data, meaning that all the information is going to stay inside the company, and the robot will be handling that information from those sites according to how you program them to be available for the robot. We can also do image recognition. Sometimes the data entry process comes from a PDF file, for instance, where you need to scan or recognize text or numbers. The robot can also work with that situation and make a track and logs of all the tasks done. So without the need of generating reports, you can then look into the logs of the robot and see how he performed. So this is Worqer so far. I think we're doing good in time. I'm going to show you a couple more examples of what the robot can do. Imagine that you have a company that gives a lot of interest in digital marketing. This company, for instance, is a commercial company for auto parts. And whenever they make a post, they want to know who interacted with that post. And they want to make a list of all the contacts that send a like, a love, any gesture. And they want to monitor in each post how many people they have. At the end of the week or the month, they may give a prize to the person that interacted the most, or they want to track if everyone is following their post. So whenever the need for this was by the management of the company, there was someone in the back entering in the social media, entering in each post, and selecting all the names of the people that interacted with this post. In this example, there was 1,200 people that interacted with the post. So these people will have to select the name, copy that information, open an Excel file, and paste that information. So imagine how long will it take for a person to do so. So instead, we teach the robot to enter every post, to display all the names of the people that interacted with the post, and to one by one copy that information. So I'm going to show you how the robot did this. So now this is the robot working. He's the one selecting the information, switching to the next one, switching to the Excel file, and pasting that information. And he can go on forever until you tell them to stop, or until he finishes all the posts and all the information. And more importantly, he can do that after hours, he can do that overnight, he can do that early in the morning. So the next day, whenever the manager arrives, he can have the report of each post, how many people were the ones interacting, and he can have this file or this done for every post. So now that person that has this process in charge can go to his house early, can have a better feeling about the company, he's feeling better about his work, and he's fulfilling the task without any errors, without missing any line. So it's a big improvement, not only for the company in terms of the speed of the task, in terms of the accuracy of the information, but it's also an improvement for the employee, for the person that usually used to have this in charge. So it's very important to be able to understand all the results that come from the implementation of this tool. This is another interesting example. Imagine that the IRS here in the US has a track or a record of all the invoices that have been issued to your company. This is an example from the equivalent of the IRS in Ecuador in South America, which is called SRI. And the local regulation for invoices in that country forces all the invoices to be sent electronically, and they need to pass through this Ecuadorian IRS. So the accountants for any company, in order for them to check that they did receive all the invoices, because sometimes the email is not properly inputted. Sometimes the invoice goes to the spam folder or goes to a different mailbox. So the accountant needs to make sure to receive all the invoices. So he enters a website, he inputs the information from the company, and he can review all the invoices that are in the system for him to download the invoice, and also download a file where he can copy the information from and input them into the ERP or the accounting software or the QuickBooks. So imagine every day or every week or at the end of the month, all the work that needs to be done by the accountant or his assistant, most likely, to enter the website of this IRS, to input the information for the company, to view all the list of invoices, download everyone, and input that into the system. And if this is an accounting firm, imagine doing that for all his customers. So instead, we teach the robot how to enter from zero, from scratch, enter the website, log into the system, close a pop-up window that's going to appear, and then performing the task, which is choosing the month, displaying all the information, downloading all the files, but even without the need of opening the file, he's going to read the file that is already in the hard disk of the accountant company computer and input that information into the system. So now the robot is inputting the website address, closing the pop-up, going to the menu where he needs to log in, choosing the proper option, doing the login for the company that he needs to check. This is all the robot working. There's no human intervention here. Displaying the information of the company and choosing the month, choosing all the invoices, and going one by one, downloading the information, both the PDF file and the XML file in this case, which is the one that can be read. So after he's done downloading all the information, he can then open the folder in the computer and one by one reading the information from the file, from the XML file, opening the QuickBooks and inputting all the invoice information. Whenever there's a need for him to select among a list of choices, he will do. Otherwise, he just pastes the information. And he's going to do that until he finishes. So here again, the accountant can work from 9 to 5 on his day-to-day job, and at the end of the day, launch the system, let's say at 9 p.m. So he can take all the invoices. So first thing in the next morning, he opens the system and all the invoices are there. If there was an issue with any invoice, he will have a report and he will only have to check that invoice. But he will not be needing to have extra hours working for this and the possibility of making errors or anything. So as a summary for what we have been seeing today, what are the opportunities where we feel that Worqer is strong, where you can do this application for your company or for your customers? You can manage any type of surveys. You can work with insurance companies regarding the renewal of policies or modification of policies. Worqer currently have a very strong base of customers in the insurance market, and most of the tasks needed by any insurance company for issuing a new policy, for renewing a policy, for making modifications, for reviewing the policies, any task that you can think of can be handled by the robot. Maybe this is where we have more experience, and most of the success stories that we have come from these companies. We can manage with the robot any forms that need to be filled or are already filled by clients or by vendors, and we can input that information into our system. We can arrange all the commissions, all the payments for the sales team, for the point of sales, because we can read all the sales information and we can assign those to the proper vendor or the point of sale in order for the commissions or the payment or the commissions to be managed. And of course, we can manage, as you have seen in the examples, everything related to the invoices, whether receiving the invoices or issuing the invoices, or handling all the information related to the invoices. Again, all the claims that come from the insurance processes, collection processes. There was a lot of times where the robot was implemented for the core business of the company, let's say the commercial part, in order for inputting all the customers, for instance, as we saw in one of the examples. But then, whenever that information was into the system, the accounting system saw a big pile of information quicker and faster than they received before, and they were not able to keep up with the robot itself. So they asked for help, and we also provided a robot for the accounting system for them to manage all the reporting, all the collection processes. So instead of manually checking all the invoices and seeing if the payment was done and generating a report for them, based on that report, start calling or making follow-up for collection of invoices, they let the robot do all the process, and they were only focused on collecting. They were only focused on the job that needs a human to be there, that adds value. So in every accounting process, collection process, there's also a lot of work to do by this tool. Everything is related to compliance, customer verification, supplier verification. All that information can go to the robot and be handled without any intervention of any third person or any third party, assuring the company that the information will be handled according to the processes. So you can download forms, you can make data entry, you can do data scraping from the website, which is also a very interesting tool. And many marketing companies are needing these kind of tools. So, well, basically that's what we have for today. This is our contact information. I don't know if anyone has any question or any comment that we want to address.
Can you
Okay,
hear me,
well then,
Alex?
go ahead, Ernesto.
Okay, let me, I just want to make sure I'm on the right process here. One single worker bot can be programmed to do several tasks at different times, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
And it can be set up to do it at a certain times, right?
Exactly, exactly. And thank you for the question, because that's an important thing that when compared to the other tools like Worqer on the industry, most of the times those tools do not allow you to have several processes taken over by the same robot. Sometimes the policies of other companies are to have one robot assigned to a process or a task so that they can sell you more robots. And we prefer to empower you to have this robot as an assistant. So that assistant can do as many tasks as he's assigned to, with only the limitation that he can do only one at a time. He can be programmed to do so. He can be ordered to do so. So the same computer that is used by the user can be the same computer assigned to the robot. So we only need the computer to be left powered on. And after our working hours, the robot can take over that computer and execute the task. So it's a very interesting way to provide the company with these assistants without the need for you to pay extra time, getting extra people. And this is important because it allows the company to grow in a better and ordinate way. So if you now are handling 100 customers a month, and Worqer is handling those 100 new customers every month, if tomorrow you grow and you reach 1,000 customers, Worqer can perfectly handle that task. Without Worqer, you will need to have 10 more people maybe. So this software is not intended for a company to remove personnel or replace personnel. This is a tool that can assist the current personnel, make their job easier, make their job faster, make their job more accurately, but it allows the company to grow without the need of hiring more people, which is also part of the benefits. Instead, what they can do is that they can hire more vendors, they can hire more people that is on the street, that is on the phone, and not more people that is just inputting data. That doesn't make sense. Also with us is Hernan, Fabricio, Alejandro, Cesar from the Sequoia team in Ecuador. I don't know if you want to add anything to this presentation or give us any other comments that I may have missed.
Thank you, Alex. I just want to ask how exactly the bot could be. We have a precision norms. We have done many transactions. I am speaking about thousands of transactions, and the bot don't do any error. It was a perfect job. The bot is exactly if you compare the human job when you do a task very repetitively, you can have errors because you're tired, because you're doing the same, because it's not interesting for a human to do the same task many times. So the bot has the advantage that the bot is not bored with that. The bot is not distracted. So the key situation is to let the bot do the repetitive tasks and let the human to be more kind, to answer more questions about our clients. And that is very important. That's the key of success. It's very important to humanize the persons and not make robotic the persons. That's the clue of this. And that is how the bot is so efficient. We have situations that the human work of 2 months resume in 4 days of jobs robot. And that's amazing because the bot can do things very quick, extremely quick, in a very little portion of time of the robot, of the human, I mean. Just want to add that part. That is, thanks for your presentation, Alex. Very clear, very important information that you share.
Thank you, Hernan. Yes, it's true. Whenever we need to provide any company or any possible customer for this tool, whenever they need to have references for what we have done already in several companies, we have many success stories when there was a backlog of 3,000 transactions in an insurance company that they were not able to input that into their system. And every month, there was an additional 600, 800 new transactions to input the system. So they will never keep up. And they thought, well, okay, what if I assign someone to do this task only for us to be up to date? And they evaluated the possible result in terms of hours. And the result was that they needed one person fully assigned to this task for 10 days in order to keep up the work, all the pending transactions. Instead, they were able to consider this tool. We were able to teach the robot how to do this input, and he was able to do so in 2 hours. So now, all those 600, 800 new arrivals, new customers for that company are handling directly within minutes by the robot, and the vendors don't have an issue offering the insurance policies the next day. The accounting team does not have an issue invoicing for that invoice because the information is already on the system. So the growth and the performance of the whole company improved a lot only with one robot, only with one transaction. So imagine how they now look to this tool and how they look to the people behind the tool, and they are constantly asking, what else can we do? What else can we assign to the robot? What else can we teach them so we can keep improving? And this company is part of a group, a financial group, and at the end of the month, they received a note from their directory telling them that, I don't know what you did this time, but it's the first time you're on time. It's the first time there's no transaction in the backlog. And it's the first time that there's no errors. I don't know what you did, but this is perfect. Keep it up. So that allowed them to show the results of implementing this tool. And we were able also to present this tool to the other companies of the group and grow that way. So it is it's very important to mention that we already have a lot of success stories, that we already have reference that we can give. And one last thing is that we can start with a free trial, a free pilot to be implemented in any company, in any customer. We can take over the process, the pre-sales, and choose a small part of the process to implement it in the company and start from there. I don't know if there's anything else to add, but if not, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you, Richard, for opening the possibility of this event. Let's see if we can follow up with more events in the future.
Yeah, no, and I want to thank you, Alex, for getting it set up through the group. But yeah, just like you mentioned, there's people who may want to have attended this event, but they had a conflict. So that's why I always tell people, have your events ongoing, you know, and that way, you know, you'll build momentum and you'll catch people who may not know about it. And then, you know, the other thing I recommend to anybody that's on this event still, if you got a lot out of it, you know, either attend it again or share with other friends that may need to hear this information. So again, thank you very much, Alex.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Richard. Yes, we're going to post this information also online. We're going to share that information with everyone. And let's see if we can do this again soon. Okay, thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.